Hello everyone and welcome back to After the Fact casting for the What CD StarCraft 2 Open. My name is N Bad Dog, also known as Brainwash, and today I bring you yet more coverage from round number 2. This is OSA's RTY spawning as the orange Protoss on the top right hand position, facing off against the blue RTYvRon. I can't remember. Resistance 11, I believe, actually. Yes, Resistance 11 is his forum name, so there we go. He will be spawning as the blue Zerg. And, of course, this is a best of 3 once again from round number 2. Just finishing up all of the round number 2 casting I do have so that we can get started on round number 3. Of course, round number 3 will be finished soon as well, so looking for players to finish up those games so that we can move into the semifinals. I believe I called round number 3 the semifinals in one of my previous casts, but that's actually false. It's not. Anyway, you probably all realized that and that I was just being an idiot. So I hear from RTY that this is a really good series, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Man, am I ever going to be tired of casting by the time I am done today, though. Some of these matchups are pretty epic. I believe game number 2 is a 30-minute game, so looking forward to that. Of course, this is a 20-minute game itself, so no slouch in the time department. Will take me a while to cast it and make sure that I edit it properly. Spawning pool coming down for Ron before his hatchery, so he does realize that RTY will be able to micro that probe around and around and around and halt the expansion for as long as possible, so Ron will be getting out those Zerglings a little bit earlier just to make sure that he can take out that probe. No extractors coming down for Ron though, so he's not looking for any super early metabolic boost. And there we go, there's RTY looking to do some kind of fast expand before the Forge, actually. Interesting choice there from RTY. He does get blocked from a drone, so I guess this is a little bit backwards. You don't usually see the drone, and there we go. He starts making an Evo chamber, so that Evo chamber will block RTY. And yes, indeed, he will need to get down some gateways in order to take out that Evo chamber as quickly as possible. Ron, realizing that RTY does want to go for that faster expansion, will be blocking that off for as long as possible. Of course, as soon as this building comes off the creep, it will start to slowly take damage, so that will hurt Ron. And there we go, you can already see it is taking a little bit of damage from the fact that it is off creep, but that will delay RTY's expansion for quite a while, allowing Ron to get out the hatchery of his own. Looks like RTY totally forgot that probe was there, so he didn't actually micro around and try and block that. And there we go, we do finally have a queen as well as 2 Zerglings coming out here for Ron. What have we got in RTY's base? He does have both gateways being rallied all the way into Ron's base, so we'll see what this early Zealot pressure does. Maybe he's just going to let the Evo chamber die there. It certainly looks that way. He wants to throw on some earlier Zealot pressure instead. And there we go, moving out across the map with the 2 Zerglings. And a pylon going down right on top of that hatchery, so that pylon won't be able to go down, and the Zerglings will probably take out the probe before it even manages to land it. Of course, because these Zerglings aren't speedlings, they do move at just a little bit faster than the probe, so the probe can slowly outrun them. There we go, 2 more Zerglings coming in, and the probe realizes it has no potential to lay down any sort of pylon. There we go, probe finally falling. And here we go, the 2 gateways, 3 gateways, sorry, all finished up. He has stopped production on the Zealots for the most part at the time, though, so he won't be looking to put on any more early Zealot pressure right now. 2 spine crawlers coming down right at the front door for Ron. Those will be able to do quite a bit of damage to the Zealots, assuming, of course, that they do manage to finish, though, forcing Ron to cancel that. And here we go, the second one is going to be softened up just a touch, but all those Zealots are forced to retreat. RTY is going to have to wait for more reinforcements at this point. More Zealots moving out across the field. Overlord's in nice position to do some suicide base scouting of RTY. And there we go, here comes the Cybernetics Core, so Gateway probably will be researched shortly. Can't see him going for anything else at this point, really. More Zealots marching out across the field. What have we got going on here? Nothing in particular. And a pylon coming down, just to keep an eye out. Ooh, we do have a Stargate coming down here for RTY, so possibly looking for some Phoenix, maybe some Void Ray. Void Ray a little bit more likely. That's a lot of Spine Crawlers at the front door, though. Those Zealots are going to try and do a run by, maybe do a surround on the Queen at this point. Grabs one Queen, of course, but that Queen wasn't the only Queen, and there we go. All the Zealots do get surrounded. So that was just the creep spreading Queen that did get taken, so it's not too much of an issue for Ron. And all of those Zealots are cleaned up, so RTY definitely getting the short end of the stick in that engagement. Taking a look at units lost tab, actually, it's pretty even here. Of course, that does include the Evo Chamber at the expansion, as well as the Spine Crawler cancel, because their units lost doesn't actually do... Oh, and we've got to pause, please. What's going on? Okay, so we are back already. I guess I don't even notice the pauses, do I? Anyway, Void Ray coming out here for RTY will be able to do quite a bit of damage to the little Zerglings. Zerglings can attack air last time I checked. In fact, only Queens can. So there we go. And what have we got here? Robotics facility as well for RTY. Chrono boosting out that gateway research. Hasn't started on Protoss level 1 air. Not surprising, of course, he's not going to commit super heavily into these Void Rays. Though he will have a second coming out, and they are rallied into the back of Ron's base. Huge drones transfer down. It looks like Ron doesn't have too many drones left at either expansion. We'll need to use some of those larvae that he has out. Oh, and it looks like he was caught by the Zerglings. He was distracted by that. The Zerglings did manage to run all the way up into the main, warping in some Zealots, though, to clean up those Zerglings, so the Zerglings won't do too much damage. 3 Zealots across the front, of course, managing to block the Zerglings for the most part. Void Ray coming in. Void Ray probably won't expose itself just yet. Oh, yep, there we go. The Void Ray is moving up into Ron's base, so he will be able to pick off 1 drone, 2 drone. Oh, nope, he switched too quickly off that drone. There we go. Does do a little bit of final damage, and he will be trying to focus down the spawning pool here. Let's see if Ron can get a Queen back in position quickly enough. We do have another Void Ray coming out across the field. Of course, we do have the Zerglings in the middle, and it looks like that Void Ray is starting to take some damage from the Queen. We'll need to wait for his reinforcement buddy here, and of course with 2 Void Rays. Ooh, against 3 Queens though. That's a lot of Queens backed up there for Ron. He might not be able to take that out. RTY needs to pull that Void Ray back now. Will he lose this Void Ray? It looks like he will actually lose the Void Ray. No, he doesn't. He does sacrifice 1. Oh, no, he does lose the 1 Void Ray. And will he get the second? No, he doesn't. So 1 Void Ray does remain here. But with those 4 Queens out on the field, that effectively defeats any form of air harassment coming from RTY. Looking for a Queen Zergling build at this point to combat against the air build from our Protoss player RTY. And what is Ron doing? He is scouting around the map, keeping map control with those Zerglings. Needs really to connect his 2 bases with some creep spread. I think that would help a lot at this point. As well as 2 more extractors coming down. So there we go. We do see the switch into roaches as well as a lair, keeping these Queens at the back here in case the Void Ray decides to come back in and do a little bit more damage. He is just producing Phoenix at this point, mostly for scouting, and he can also pick up some of the Ron's Zerg units. Do have an Evo Chamber coming down, so that Evo Chamber will be able to lay down the Spore Crawlers in the mineral lines, and thus he won't have to have quite as many Queens out at the back here as he does right now. Queens starting to do some creep spreads since they're out there. They might as well do something. Evo Chamber just about finished up. And what have we got here? We do have a tech switch back into Void Rays, as well as Colossus coming out on the field. That'll be interesting to see how effective those Colossus are against Ron's Queen and Zergling army. Of course, with the Roaches, with upgrades coming out now, that will be a little bit of an advantage, though he is going for Zergling upgrades, so we are going to see +1 melee attacks coming out from Ron with the Zerg. And what have we got here? Just some Void Rays and some Phoenix chilling in the back, able to pick up a few Queens if they wish to. There we go, Void Ray coming out. But some huge commitment on the Spore Crawlers here. 6 Spore Crawlers coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looking for number 6. I guess it doesn't really matter where number 6 actually is, does it? Ah, there we go. There's number 6 indeed. So the Infestation Pit as well. And it does manage to scout that observer, so the observer will go down. And where are these? Void Rays are going to move in and manage to take out one very slow Overlord. He has to move back though from that Spore Crawler. Will be able to do quite a bit of damage, trying to pick up as many queens as he possibly can. Focus down the spawning pool. There we go. The spawning pool does go down though. He does lose a one Phoenix, both Void Rays. He loses his entire Air Force actually. There we go. RTY forgetting to micro away his Phoenix there. Could have at least saved one of them, but it does instead go down, forcing Ron though to reproduce the spawning pool, which he has already started at his more secure natural right over here. And we do have extended thermal lance almost completed for the Colossus, as well as more Void Rays coming out onto the field for our Protoss player RTY, sadly rallying right back onto the Overseer. So the Overseer will see them coming out, but he will manage to get the Overseer kill. Or at least he certainly should, sorry. And a Nidus Worm coming down here for Ron, so we'll see what he manages to do with that Nidus Worm. Does he have any Overlords in good position to lay down some creep to get that Nidus Worm out? It doesn't look like it as of right now. RTY trying to take an expansion though, and the Zerglings will very nicely come up here and scout that right away before it even starts. And there we go, RTY will lose a pylon here to these marauding Zerglings, going down right away. And there's the Void Ray fresh off with the Overseer kill. One more Void Ray coming out, as well as some more Colossus. So we do have the Colossus coming out. Extended Thermal Lance has already completed, as well as +1, so they are a range 9 unit. Definitely very effective. We do have Infestors though. No Neural Parasite as of yet. Is that being researched right now? It doesn't look like it. No, it isn't. He's instead going for Pathogen Glands, which does increase the starting energy of all of your Infestors, giving them just enough energy right off the bat to do a fungal growth, I believe. I think that's right though. They spawn with... No, maybe they do spawn more. Anyway, big move out here from RTY. He is pushing into Ron's base. Looks like he has caught Ron way out of position here with these Infestors. Infestors melting away there to the Colossus. And there we go. Ron will try and engage this with his Roaches. I wonder why RTY doesn't push up into here. There we go. He was waiting for the Zerglings to try and come back in behind. The Colossus are microing nicely though, able to lay down quite a bit of damage on those Roaches without taking too much damage himself, warping in some more Stalkers down here on the low ground. RTY seems to have the advantage at this point in the game. He has equal bases. There we go. The third base is coming down though for Ron. He can't focus too much on that right now though. He needs to desperately defend at this point. He's very weak with those Roaches. He needs to fall back onto the Spine Crawler line. Possibly a bit of a redeploy would be advantageous at this point for Ron. RTY looking like he wants to push up into the main though, keeping that creep spread to a minimum. We do have an Overlord keeping an eye out on that Zolmaga tower though. And there we go, here comes RTY looking to do a little bit of a finishing blow here now that he has warped in some final units. Void Ray coming out, do a little bit of scouting, see what is up on the high ground. Take a couple of pot shots at the Queen, so RTY realizes that he is running up against quite a significant Spine Crawler defense. And here we go, here's the Nidus Worm coming down for Ron at the same time. A little bit of a desperation move to try and get his units around the backside of RTY. I wonder if he can actually commit to this at this point though, or if he really just needs to focus on his base defense. There we go, Colossus pushing up into the main, right into the Spine Crawler line, doing a huge amount of damage to those Spine Crawlers. The Spine Crawlers are going down. One Queen does go down. Second Queen down. Will the third? Yes, indeed. Ron's army has melted away. Force fields nicely trapping the reinforcing Roaches in the back, focusing down the Spore Crawlers soon anyway. Or is it just going down from splash damage? It looks like it. Nothing to come out of this Nidus Worm at this point. I'm intrigued to see if RTY even knows that the Nidus Worm is there. And there we go. There's the GG. Excellent game, everyone, from RTY and Ron. That is game number 1, I believe, from the series. It is a best of 3. So I'll be right back with game number 2 from OSA's RTY, as well as WhatCD's Ron. I don't believe Ron has a clan at this point, though I think he is considering joining RTY in Clan OSA. So that'll be a great expansion to the clan. Anyway, thank you very much, and I will see you with game number 2.